Hello everyone, it's Mary. Welcome back to the channel. I am playing with the Simon Says Stamp December card kit, and I have made 15 cards with this. So the first half of this video will be 10 of the cards using mostly the pattern paper and the stickers, and then 5 cards I made using the rest of the kit. But the last half of this video will be music as I watercolor the 2 watercolor pieces that came in with the kit. And that way there won't be any commentary about the last 20 minutes, I would say. So if you don't like to watch coloring, I put it at the end so this way you be done and you don't have to watch it. So we'll get started in just a minute. But before we begin, I have a short little clip of more of AJ's artwork. So he's very excited to show you, and I will put what time to skip if you do not want to see his presentation. AJ wants to show more artwork. Go ahead, explain it to us.
This is a Christmas present that I want my sister to keep, and I showed her already. This is her in her jammies, and this is me in my jammies.
Awesome. What do your jammies have on them?
Dinosaurs.
And hers?
Her pants have owls, and her shirt has Princess Poppy as jammies.
It does. You two look very happy. Yeah, great job, baby. Excellent.
I worked really hard on this.
You sure did. I could see that. It paid off. Look at how beautiful it is. Does she love it? Yeah? Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so thank you for allowing him to do that. He loves showing you all. Okay, so this is the contents of the kit for this month, and I'm just going through it really quickly. There's unboxings from other people that show exactly what's in there, but I was really pleased with the amount of things that came with this kit. I think that Simon Says Stamp knew that we were trying to make some Christmas cards. Maybe they knew I was trying to make 250, and that's why they sent me so many things. Just kidding. I got the same stuff you did. But I really did take advantage of all of the stuff. So I made the first 10 cards, like I said, are going to be mostly with the stickers and patterned paper. So in order for me to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out the pattern paper that I want to be the show of the first 10 cards. I will cut those down with Lawn Fawn rectangle stitch dies in both the A2 size and then the next largest size that I have. So here's what I did right here. You can see them all cut down. And that's going to help me kind of get the ball rolling, because sometimes these kits can feel a little bit overwhelming and you don't know where to start. It's almost like when you have to do a kitchen that's really, really messy. You have no idea where to start. So you just got to take one thing at a time. And so that's my first step, is I cut down all the pattern paper. Now my first card here, I'm going to use this twine that I have. It's red and white twine I picked up from Michael's. It was 50% off. And I'm just going to lay that down very haphazardly, and it's going to be right in the center of this card. I didn't want to do much with this card because it's really pretty, the actual paper, but I also have a hard time not doing anything with a card. So I really tried to challenge myself to say, you know what, maybe the pattern paper and the stickers are enough. And I really struggled with that because I feel like in card making, I need to do more. So that's a personal thing. But so I did add a little bit more to each of these cards. Okay, so you saw the first one. I put the little twine. That was my extra. Put a sticker on there. I popped it up. I'm popping up this house. I'm putting down some of those candy canes right behind the house, almost to look like decorations for the house. And then I'm going to just pull another sticker up right there. And this is going to be on the front of one of the larger pattern papers. Okay, so I get that glued down, and then I don't think I show you, but I add stickles, frosted lace stickles all over the house to make the snow really pop. Okay, moving on to the next one. This one right here is going to be the pattern paper that is already snowy, but I used some Distress Oxides, and I'm just bringing the darker Distress Oxides in so there's like a glow from the center of it, and that is going to give me more of like a night sky. So I kind of changed it into a night sky. I'm going to spritz that with some sparkle spritz, and then I am going to use the very large Santa sticker. Now, I popped up pretty much all of my stickers on all of these cards because I wanted to make sure that they were dimensional. That is what kind of I did differently for the card and for the stickers instead of just laying them flat. And I like the way that that looked. So you just watch me here. I'm just going to place that down and add a few little stickers like the ho 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 as if he's saying it, etc. One thing I have to ask for is forgiveness on the pictures for the first 10 cards. I made these a very long time ago, right when I got the kit. I say a very long time. It's probably a week ago. But in Christmas time, that seems like forever ago. And I don't have still photos of these cards. So that's such a bummer because I was actually mailing out cards and I happened to mail out a bunch of these. So I do apologize for that. But maybe what I'm showing you here will spark some creativity or some inspiration for you regardless if you can't see the close-up. So I am sorry about that. Okay, here I'm just adding the truck right with the signs there on the truck paper. So I thought that was fun. And then on these two cards here, I cut triangles with some brown cardstock. And then I do add stickles. If you watched a video I did for Scrappin' for Less a while back, I used stickles all over the roof to make it look like snow. And that's exactly what I did with these, so I kind of stole my own idea. But I used the stickers, the two Santa stickers, like they were standing on top of the roof, and then the pattern paper that looked like night sky. And so that was how I put these two together very simply. Of course, I'm adding the Jolly sticker, and that's going to be my sentiment for that. But the finishing touches for these first 10 cards really is in the extras that I did, like the stickles. That really, I feel, brought the card to life, and it just made it so much more fun. Okay, so I also am going to be putting some shadows right there underneath him. So it's hard to see on film, but I'm just going to make it look like there's a shadow. And then here you see me adding the stickles all over. And I don't think I showed you the first couple cards with the stickles because I didn't do it till after. I was like, hey, let me add some snow here. That'll make it a lot better. But again, I have to tell you, when I saw that there were stickers in the kit, I was very, very nervous about that because that's not really my bag. And I wasn't sure how I was going to do that, but I knew that I did need to make a bunch of new cards for the holidays. So I thought, well, you know, you got to step outside that comfort zone sometimes. I'm an advocate, so I got to make sure that I am leading by example. Okay, so I'm going to get those stickles down on this one as well. I have stickles in frosted lace and diamond, but I do believe frosted lace is what I'm using throughout. And that bottle is almost empty. Yes, I have been going through it like crazy. So right here, I'm taking some of that pattern paper and I am going to trim it down because I love that little Santa note here right on top of this Santa pattern paper. And I'm going to take the little word you from the stamp set and I am going to stamp that out a ridiculous amount of times onto this list because basically the Christmas list is that I want you. So it's you. No, I'm not going to sing the Mariah Carey version of All I Want for Christmas Is You. And that is not in my top 5 favorite songs, just so you know. I do love it, and it gets me in the jolly mood, but it is not one of my favorites. Okay, so I'm going to cut out with the bow, the die that came with the kit, and I'm going to use some of that beautiful red and white checkered paper, and that's going to be just an additional bow that I'm going to add right to the top of this card, right there on the side. So very simple, fun, but I thought that added a little bit of flair. And then on the bottom here we have a sentiment sticker as well. So that card is pretty much done. I'm going to back that on some red cardstock. The red that came with the kit was very pretty, very bright. So yeah, it was good to use up that too. I used up all the red and green, pretty much everything except the white sheet I had left over. And I used up all the pattern paper. You know, I have scraps here and there, but I don't count that. If I have a full sheet, that means I didn't use it up. I used up all the pattern paper. So here I have this cute little reindeer, and he looks like he's sliding on the ice because I put a bunch of stickles right at the bottom of him. And then on the top, my sentiment is, Dear Santa, my brother made me do it. I think that's what it says. So I thought that was cute. And I'm going to put this down with some Nouveau glue. I adhered all of my card panels and card bases with liquid adhesive pretty much. So that was consistent throughout this card making process. If you hear a bunch of noise in the back, I do apologize. Trying to escape the activity in the home, but it is virtually impossible right now. So I'm sorry. So here I am going to put down the sticker of the tree with a Jack Frost sentiment up in the right-hand corner. And then I'm going to add the presents and I think a couple more things. So this one was fun because I love how the stickers kind of coordinated with each other. I still have a bit of stickers left though, I do have to say, because that was a lot. That was a lot of stickers they gave us. And I am going to do my corner rounder punch right there. And I'm going to have that just have a little bit of a softer look. I add some clear, either Nouveau Glaze or Pico embellisher right on top of the ornaments for that tree just to make them shine. And then I'm going to use some frosted lace. Oh, it's Pico. I used Pico. And then I use some frosted lace over the Jack Frost sentiment so it looks like it's snowy. And that will do it for that card as well. All right, so we are moving on here. I took some more of that twine and I'm going to wrap it around this pattern paper right here, and that's just going to add a little bit of fun right there to the top of that card. I wrapped it around about 3 times. And then I am going to take my sentiment, again, popped up this sticker, and that's going to go right there in the center of the card. I pulled out the bow die again, and I cut it out of some Lawn Fawn red glitter cardstock. And if you've ever seen the Lawn Fawn red glitter cardstock, it is the most glittery and shimmery glitter cardstock ever. I love it. It's really great. So again, some more stickles. We're going to get tired of the stickles. So side note for everyone, I just had to pause my video, my voiceover, because I sneezed. And you know the beginning of a multi-sneeze means something. And I think I sound a little bit stuffy right now too. This is not acceptable. I am going to New York City tomorrow with my daughter via train. And I am taking her to walk around New York City. It's on my bucket list. And I am going to take her to see Wicked, the musical. If you have ever seen Wicked, comment below so we can talk about how amazing it was. Because I already know you loved it. This is my 5th time going to see it. I take everyone in my life that I love at one point or another. So it's amazing. That's just my plug for Wicked, the musical. Okay, back to the show. So on this card, I think this is the card that I tried right here. This is comical. I tried to put this down after putting the stickles on. Why I couldn't just put it aside, let it dry, and then come back to it is beyond me. But I just couldn't. I was like, nope, this has got to go down apparently right at this moment. So yes, this is me trying to put on foam tape with a wet front of the card. So it was not easy. I don't recommend it. I will never be doing this again. In fact, I will remind myself and probably pull up this footage and show myself of how crazy I am and how stupid I look. So here we go. You guys get to watch it. I think this is going to make the blooper reel, actually, now that I'm watching this, because this is ridiculous. Yep, and there it is, another piece. I must have kept this in here when I was editing the video because of how insane it was, or I just completely forgot to edit it out. Okay, so I finally finished up this card, and I'm putting that together on some red cardstock, and I really like the way that one turned out, so yay. So I am finished with these first 10 cards. Now we are going to move into the 5 cards that I made using the stamp set and the rest of the stuff that came with the kit. So this stamp set is really, really good. I was really happy with it. It's pretty much all-inclusive. If you don't have a good holiday set, I would recommend this. It comes with a lot of different things. So the first thing I'm going to do is make this Christmas tree card. And I always have these ideas of grandeur where I'm going to make these cards clean and simple. I tell myself that, and then I sit down to make the card, and before you know it, They are dirty and complicated, and I don't even know how I got there. But I started off with this one, and I'm putting down my first layer of our teza markers. Now I'm on Bristol Smooth, and I am using Nocturne ink and with heat embossed clear embossing powder. Nothing new there, and you could see me very carefully not covering the ornaments for like 5 seconds flat. And then I was like, forget this. I can't live this kind of life. It's too hard, so I'm just going to cover them with Nuvo drops, which I end up doing anyway. So I put that down, then I'm doing my trunk and then the skirt underneath. So the skirt underneath is going to be like a tealish bluish color. And once I did that, I knew that I was committing to a very soft palette, kind of pastel-y, so we're going to go with it. Now I'm masking that out, and I am stamping out some of the small snowflakes that came with the kit. So there's 3 of the small ones that I chose. And I'm just going to kind of highlight around the tree the snowflakes. I am going to pour some white embossing powder over that, and then I'm going to heat set it. And at this point, I'm like, what color should I use for the background? And I don't know where shaded lilac came from in my brain. But I was like, yeah, purple, that seems like a really good Christmas color. No idea. But sometimes we just got to go with our creative instincts and hope for the best. So I started off a little bit heavier around the outside of the tree and then lighter as it went out. And now I'm going to put down a second layer of that Arteza marker. So there's 2 greens I'm using here. And let me tell you, when I did that second layer, I was like, the heavens opened up. It looked so much better. It was like, gave it so much shading and really, really brought it to life. So I was super pleased with that, as well as with the skirt. So I'm going to heat set that. And next, we're going to work on putting down the sentiment. So I'm going to cut this down with a Lawn Fawn rectangle stitch die, which I use so frequently, and my Merry Christmas sentiment here. I'm going to use some VersaFine Clair in Fantasia, and then I'm going to stamp it and hesitate for a moment, but then realize I do not need to stamp that twice because VersaFine Clair is just awesome. And I promise you, I don't own that company. Because I know the way that I am trying to sell that stuff, you would think I do. But I do not have any stock in that company. I just really love those inks. And I have more on the way. Side note. Spoiler alert. Okay, so I put a very thin layer of Lawn Fawn glitter cardstock. And then I inlaid the rectangle die cut that I have with my panel. And so that way I have, just all fits one flat card. And then I'm going to use some Nuvo drops, like I said, for my ornaments. And I'm going to use, I think this is like moon dust. It's a silvery bluish glitter. And then some purple crystal drops. And then I'm going to take out my frosted lace stickles because I have to continue that trend. And I'm going to put that all over the skirt and then the garland, and it's just going to add a little bit of something extra to the card. And so that's it. Those are my final embellishments for this card here. And we will give you a close-up here so you can see that. And there you go. So that one was meant to be clean and simple. So I don't know if you would classify that. To me it is, because I did not go overboard in my mind. I had to stop myself for sure. So on this one here, I am going to do, this was another one where I was like, yeah, this is going to be great. I'm going to do this extravagant card. And I was supposed to mask Santa and the sign and then do the background. I just didn't have it in me for some reason. Instead, I fussy cut it. You tell me what the difference is there. There is none. So here are all of my backgrounds that I have throughout. This is me divulging my issues to you. Yes, there's a ton. And even one of you said I should do a video with all my backgrounds because I lift up all the extra ink and I keep the backgrounds. And this is what I have. A myriad of Distress Oxide backgrounds. So I decided to go with the blue one, even though the purple one was very tempting. I decided to go with the blue one, and I am going to make a moon to cover up that left corner there where I could probably just dip it in some more oxides, but I decided to add a moon, and that's what I'm doing there with my Spectrum Noirs, just kind of getting it, little gray marks on it. Then I'm going to take a Lawn Fawn Hillside stitched border die, and I am going to place that down and just start putting my card panel together. So I pop up the moon and the Santa, and then lay flat the sign there. Now right here I'm going to write on Santa's list for naughty and nice, so kind of the two different columns there. And you could write on the back if you wanted to of this. I'm sure that would work just fine, but I just kept to the one side as if he was reading it on that one side. And we are going to call that card done as soon as we put some more frosted lace stickles. That is maybe a company I should have stock in, because I went through this bottle like nobody's business this holiday season. All right, that card is done. And here are some close-ups of that card. I really like the way that one turned out. I'm not quite sure why Santa is standing on a green patch. I think I thought that was a rug at first. Anywho, so here I have skipped a bunch of steps here because this is a pretty easy card to do. I just used the candy cane die and I cut it 3 times into a white panel, and then I put it on top of some really glittery Lawn Fawn red cardstock. And now I'm just going to inlay the candy cane die cut back in, the positive. So I'm just going to lay that back in on all 3 sides, or all 3 pieces. Now I'm going to use, I first used my Encore gold, and that is not the gold I was looking for. I wanted the Delicata. So the Delicata is much more bright and glitzy. In fact, I think it's called Glitzy Gold. They know what they were doing. Okay, so I'm going to add the gold glitter cardstock on here in the bow on all 3 of those. I'm going to lay this down with some Nuvo glue, and then that card is pretty much done. I didn't add anything else to that. Somebody call your local news network. That was a shocker for me because it was very hard. Now, I thought about it. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought about adding drops of something somewhere. And then I said, just leave it alone. Okay, so now we are going to get into the watercoloring. So a couple disclaimers here. One, I didn't use the watercolors that came with the kit because, quite frankly, I forgot they were in there. That is the truth. Now, I said, well, I'm going to actually try to watercolor with my watercolors, because if you've ever seen me use these Ganzai, I'm scared. And so I've only ever used them for backgrounds and never to color in images. So you are going to watch me with my very first attempt at watercoloring with watercolors that are not in pen form. So please go easy on me. I tried, and it's just going to take some practice. So I am going to set these 2 cards to music. If you have any questions or anything, let me know. But I am going to end it out here with the commentary and let you all know that I thank you so much for stopping by, and that I'm going to list everything I used below. Don't forget to hit subscribe and find me in other forums such as Facebook and Instagram, so all my regular blurb. Also, I am pretty sure I'm going to see you, quote, see you, before the holidays, so we'll save all the holiday wishes for later on as we get closer. So we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.